You know, the great opportunity in the United States is to issue the world's reserve digital currency. There's about $150 billion of stablecoin currency, and Tether is the leader. But they can't locate in the United States because we don't have a sufficiently clear regulatory framework for issuing digital currencies. If the U.S. normalizes that, there's no reason why U.S. banks and U.S. companies can't issue $10 trillion of digital currency backed by U.S. dollar currency equivalents sitting in U.S. banks. That would be tremendously good for the United States.
But they don't want to compete with the U.S. dollar. I mean, Trump has made it, he campaigned on it and has followed through with tariff threats that they want to keep the U.S. dollar as the global reserve currency. So they don't want to threaten that with Bitcoin.
No, I'm not talking about Bitcoin. I'm saying that the U.S. should allow U.S. banks and U.S. corporations to issue a token backed by the U.S. dollar that would be backed by trillions of dollars of U.S.
Like a stable coin.
Yeah, a stable coin. Tether, Circle, they're stable coins.
But isn't that a big threat to the monetary system, the Fed?
Well, if we actually normalize that, then there's going to be $10 trillion of demand for U.S. treasuries. It's the best thing you could do for the dollar. What it means is that all 8 billion people on the planet will be using the U.S. dollar on their Android phones and their iPhones in order to trade with each other. That would be great for American values and the American currency.
Well, we have that with the U.S. dollar. I do wonder. I mean, people have brought up before, if he's so pro Bitcoin and crypto and even stablecoin, if that ultimately does represent a threat to the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency.
Sarah, the point is people in Russia and China and Africa and South America can't trade with the U.S. dollar directly because they don't have U.S. dollar bank accounts. They're using Tether, and they're using Tether because they desperately want access to the dollar on their mobile phone. And right now, the U.S. doesn't have regulatory clarity that allows a U.S. corporation to issue a U.S. dollar-backed stablecoin that works for the Chinese, the Russians, the Africans, the Europeans. And so if the U.S. wants to be the world reserve digital currency, you don't want $150 billion issued by an offshore entity. What you want is $10 trillion of U.S. dollar stablecoin issued by U.S. regulated banks and U.S. regulated companies with the money onshore in the United States backed by U.S. treasuries. The demand is there. We just need a digital assets framework in order for that entire industry to come to life.
Regarding quantum computing, kind of refreshing that debate about whether Bitcoin or crypto encryption can survive long-term advances in quantum. How can it?
There's nobody more sophisticated with regard to encryption than the Bitcoin community. Satoshi was writing about this 15 years ago. The quantum benchmark that Google ran has no practical use in the real world right now. It's an impressive benchmark, but in fact, if anybody ever develops a super powerful computer that can crack encryption, it's going to be a challenge for Microsoft, Google, the US government, every company on Earth. And of course, the entire technology community is going to be focused on that. And when that happens, we'll all just upgrade our software with quantum-resistant algorithms. Right now, the consensus in the community is we're nowhere close to that being a threat. You know, the world wants a digital assets framework, and the United States has a great opportunity to define a digital assets framework. We need to define the definitions of a digital commodity, a currency, a security, a token, an NFT, and an asset-backed token. And we need the rights and responsibilities of issuers and the exchanges and the owners. But that takes consensus from the executive branch, the House, the Senate, and the industry. And we didn't have that for the past 4 years. The opportunity for the U.S., it's to issue $10 trillion of digital currency and back the dollar. It's to capture $50 trillion of capital gain on the digital capital network. And I do believe with the digital assets framework that this administration could put forward, there's no reason why we won't see $500 trillion of assets tokenized over the next 21 years and $280 trillion in capital flow into the digital capital network that is Bitcoin.
And where does that lead Bitcoin's eventual price?
My 21-year forecast is for Bitcoin to appreciate about 29% a year, ARR, to $13 million a coin by the year 2045.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And also, guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Michael Saylor, the Bitcoin spokesperson on stablecoin. Says that we need stablecoin regulation. And if he's a Bitcoin maximalist, he should never be speaking about stablecoins. We know stablecoins are nothing but digital dollars. They're just programmable. They're not crypto. Stablecoins are keeping the Fed in control of the whole crypto market. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And Michael Saylor speaks about China and Russia being able to use a U.S. stablecoin. But guys, we know China and Russia are already off the dollar. And China, of course, has that digital yuan, and we know eventually it'll be backed by that digital SDR. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And quantum computing will change our reality. It just won't change Bitcoin. It's going to change everything that you see. You won't be able to trust your eyes or ears. Remember, the eyes and ears are the window to the soul. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And Michael Saylor just keeps buying. And now we know the accounting rules have changed in his favor. And that's why I say, most likely next year, MicroStrategy will start selling. And Michael Saylor will ride off in the sun. Now, will Trump create a Bitcoin reserve? We know we have to have regulation first before he does anything like that. And I don't see the United States buying Bitcoin because remember, guys, they get their Bitcoin for free. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have Palantir, MicroStrategy, and Exxon goes to the NASDAQ 100. And we see these momentum stocks being moved around. And these stocks are ran by nothing but an algorithm. And that algorithm knows we're about to have a pullback. Remember, guys, the first quarter of the year, we always get a big pullback, and now we're going to have events that are going to be used as a distraction. So while the sheep are looking one way, they're running the money in the back door. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now we have Trump and Masayoshi Son moving AI forward. And we see Trump pushing artificial intelligence. We see him pushing DeFi and crypto. Because we're in this space, we know where he's pushing us. But the sheep have no clue. Remember, his job is to land us in the fourth industrial revolution, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. Now we have the bots buying up all the exclusive goods. And who do you think are behind majority of these bots? These corporations get paid both ways. And we know the banks are the biggest what? I'll let you finish that. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Because he knows. When it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Instrument, and so we're the leader in that market. And when we do that, we create high volatility, high performance equity, and the equity in the options market wants that. So let me give you a little number here. Year to date, we have issued securities, both convertible bonds and equities, at a premium to our underlying assets that created a 72.4% BTC yield. That translates to a gain of 136,965 Bitcoin without dilution or cost. At 105,000 of Bitcoin, that's creating $14.38 billion in shareholder value. So how would you value a company that generated $14.4 billion in earnings a year, growing 100% year over year? And that's what the MicroStrategy treasury operation is doing. If you're a Bitcoiner, you would love that.
This historic investment is a monumental demonstration of confidence in America's future, and it will help ensure that artificial intelligence, emerging technologies, and other industries of tomorrow are built, created, and grown right here in the USA. One of the beautiful things about Masa is he's very much involved with emerging technology, probably knows it maybe better than almost anybody. So it's a great honor, and Some of you remember after the 2016 election, also SoftBank committed to invest $50 billion in our country, and they did. And I'm very pleased to say that they kept that promise in every way, shape, and form. And now they're looking to do 100. And I've looked at their books. They do have the possibility of doing more. I'm going to ask them to do a little bit more.
Bots being used to scoop up concert tickets before the general public. It's infuriating. Well, that same thing is being used to do the hottest holiday gifts before you can get to them. Joining us now with more on Grinch bots is Courtney Reagan.
Good name, right? Grinch bots. This will make you pay attention. They're basically mini computer programs designed to buy up in milliseconds. It's a problem that creates shortages on high demand items and, of course, increases prices.
Bots come in, they procure a lot, and suddenly you're out of stock. And now you go, okay, I want to fulfill it. You fulfill it, but actually it wasn't real demand. It was bot demand that was changing what you thought was real demand.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China. But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets. Now,
it was not just a poor auction; it was absolutely lousy. And you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. From COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.